Good morning. It's Friday the 22nd of October. The Queen spent a night in hospital on Wednesday for preliminary investigations after cancelling a trip to Northern Ireland.
The 95-year-old monarch returned from the private hospital in central London at lunchtime on Thursday and is said to be in good spirits, as our royal correspondent Sarah Campbell now reports.
It was the day after hosting this reception at Windsor Castle that Buckingham Palace announced that, on medical advice, the Queen wouldn't be travelling to Northern Ireland on Wednesday afternoon. She'd been advised to rest for the next few days, but was in good spirits. It's now emerged that later that day, the Queen was driven to King Edward VII Hospital in central London to undertake what have been termed preliminary investigations. No details have been released as to exactly what the tests were for. What has been made known is this was not COVID-related. The Queen has undertaken a very busy schedule recently. She attended a service at Westminster Abbey a week last Tuesday and was seen using a walking stick for the first time at a public event. 2 days later, she was in Cardiff for the opening of the Welsh Parliament. And in between time, she was carrying out duties at Windsor Castle, including virtually welcoming the new Governor-General of New Zealand. The images of the Queen since her return from the summer break in Balmoral have been of an engaged and alert monarch, still enjoying meeting people and carrying out her duties with enthusiasm. But she is now 95 years old, and the news that she's spent a rare night in hospital will inevitably cause concern. The palace have sought to reassure. She's said to be in good spirits, and it's understood that on her return from hospital yesterday afternoon, she was back at her desk and back at work. Sarah Campbell, BBC News.
We're joined now by our reporter Megan Patterson, who's outside Windsor Castle this morning. Megan, good morning to you. What more do we know about how the Queen is today?
Good morning, Naga, from a very quiet Windsor Castle, apart from the camera crews setting up in the streets here. Well, we know that the Queen returned to Windsor yesterday afternoon after that night stay in hospital, King Edward VII Hospital in London. It's about 45 minutes drive from here, and the palace says she stayed there overnight on Wednesday for practical reasons, keen to impress that she is in good spirits. She returned here yesterday afternoon. She even got on with a little bit of work, a little bit of light duties. Now, Her Majesty, as we know, is 95 years old. She has a pretty good record of health if we look back, a robust constitution, you might say. In 1994 she broke her wrist while she was out horse riding. She got back on the horse, completed the ride, and it wasn't until 24 hours after that she was diagnosed with a broken wrist. In 2016 she missed Christmas Day service at Sandringham Church. She had a heavy cold, flu-like symptoms, but she was back out on royal duties within 2 weeks. She is a woman who likes to get on with the job. Now, earlier this week we were told that she is expected to go to the COP26 climate change conference in Glasgow at the end of this month. That's still expected to happen, but we do expect now that her diary in the future will be managed in a way that allows her to do her duties, but also for her to maintain her health and to get rest when she needs it.
Indeed. Megan, thank you very much. Megan Patterson there for us.
The actor Alec Baldwin has fatally shot a woman after firing a prop gun on the set of his new film in New Mexico.
The film's director was also injured and is receiving emergency treatment. Police say the investigation remains open and active and no charges have yet been filed. Here's more from our North America correspondent David Willis.
Well, according to the Santa Fe, New Mexico Sheriff's Department, 2 people were shot on the set of the Western film called Rust. In an initial statement, the Sheriff's Department said that officers were dispatched to the film set shortly after 2 o'clock in the afternoon local time, following a report that someone had been shot. And they later confirmed that 2 people had been shot when a firearm that was discharged by Alec Baldwin went off, striking the 42-year-old cinematographer, Helena Hutchins. She was airlifted to hospital but later died at the scene because of her injuries. And the film's 48-year-old director, Joel Souza. Now, he was wounded and is being treated in hospital. It's said that his injuries are critical. A statement from the production team confirmed that the incident involved the misfire of a prop gun and said that an investigation was underway. Now, Alec Baldwin is both the star and the producer of Rust, which is an independent film, and it's based on the story of the Western outlaw Harland rust. Production of the film has now been halted. Detectives are interviewing witnesses at the scene. The International Cinematographers Guild confirmed Helena Hutchins' death and called it in a statement devastating news. We are supporting a full investigation into this tragic event. This is a terrible loss, and we mourn the passing of a member of our guild's family. So far, there has been no word on this incident from Alec Baldwin or any of his representatives.
And that was David Willis reporting. There's a warning that a tsunami of people in England who rely on social care will be unable to access support this winter unless a staffing shortage is addressed.
A report from the Care Quality Commission says the workforce is exhausted and depleted, with care providers already having to turn away patients. It says urgent action must be taken to get through the next few months safely. Here's more from our social affairs editor, Alison Holt.
The unmet need of which today's report warns is already a reality for the cooks. Melvin has a rare brain condition and unable to get any support. Dorothy is caring on her own.
He can't get out of a chair on his own. He can't mobilise on his own. He can't go up and down the stairs on his own. He can't wash, dress, shower. Take your time. It's just full on 24/7 caring.
Melvin was sent home by the NHS in June. For a short time, care workers came in, then they said they didn't have enough staff to continue. That was 12 weeks ago. According to the charity Carers UK, many family carers are being pushed to the edge, like Dorothy.
I'm on my knees. I'm on my knees with exhaustion. The strain of having to do it all on our own. We're left here with nobody. There's no care package, no accessibility to services. We feel completely and utterly isolated and scared.
Today's report from the regulator, the Care Quality Commission, warns of the serious impact staffing shortages are having across the health and care system in England. Job vacancies in care homes have risen from 6 to 10% in 5 months, and nursing homes are deregistering because they can't get nurses. It concludes urgent action is needed.
We're calling for, in our report, increased funding to stabilise the adult social care workforce. And that benefits everybody, has a ripple effect, a positive ripple effect right across health and social care. And without that stability, without that stable adult social care workforce, there's the real risk of a tsunami of unmet need, causing instability right across the system.
The government has said it is putting £162 million into boosting the recruitment and retention of care staff, and that it appreciates their dedication and tireless work. Alison Holt, BBC News.
Well, let's speak now to our political correspondent, Nick Eardley. Morning to you, Nick. And this is a subject that's been much talked about, the problems with staffing in care homes, and this report lays it bare. What sort of response might we expect from government?
It does indeed, Charlie. Well, last night we got the announcement from the government that they were going to put this £160 million into retention and recruitment in social care in England over the next few months. That money is designed to last until the end of January. But as you say, there's also that long-term issue of standards and conditions and pay in the sector. So we know that there's going to be the levy, the extra national insurance we're all going to be paying from next year. That's supposed to put £5 billion into the social care sector over the next few years. But there are those big questions about what is going to happen in the immediate term, not just because of paying conditions, but also because of Brexit, the impact that's had on some workforces, the pandemic as well. We've spoken about shortages in a lot of sectors over the last few weeks. The Labour Party are saying that the government needs to treat this as a priority, put more money into it immediately to plug some of those gaps. And I think, as you heard in Alison's piece there, the pressure on the government to find more money to make sure that those gaps can be plugged is intense.
Nick, thank you very much.
We're also going to be joined by the Care Minister, Gillian Keegan, at 7:30 this morning. So if you have any questions, any queries, you can get in touch in the usual way.
A hospital trust in Cornwall has asked patients' relatives to do anything they can to support loved ones at home to free up bed space.
Last week, staff at the Royal Cornwall Hospitals Trust said more than 200 patients were medically ready to leave but had nowhere to go. The Trust's Director of Emergency Care said these were some of the most testing situations we've ever worked in.
A new nationwide advertising campaign will be launched later today to encourage more people to come forward for their COVID booster and winter flu vaccines.
Many adults and most children will be offered a free flu vaccine this winter.
From today, parents of children aged between 12 and 15 will also be able to book first-dose COVID vaccinations online rather than waiting for them to be delivered at school. Appointments will be available as soon as tomorrow.
The man accused of fatally stabbing the Conservative MP Sir David Amess will appear at the Old Bailey later today. Ali Harbi Ali was arrested following the attack at a constituency surgery in Leigh-on-Sea on Friday. The 25-year-old has been charged with murder and the preparation of terrorist acts.
See the headlines as they happen and watch BBC News live in the app and get the full story with bbc.co.uk/news. Follow the story for all the latest with BBC News.